In what is fast becoming one of the most talked about moments in African political circles, Burkina Faso's fiery leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has reportedly confronted South African President Cyril Ramaphosa with a blunt and jaw-dropping question. According to multiple sources familiar with the incident, the heated exchange took place behind closed doors during a recent African Union summit. The gathering, meant to focus on regional cooperation, reportedly turned tense when discussions about political freedoms and external interference in African governance arose. Known for his unapologetic anti-imperialist stance and fierce advocacy for African sovereignty, Traoré has never shied away from challenging what he sees as puppet leadership on the continent. Witnesses claim that as Ramaphosa was addressing the room about maintaining stability in South Africa, Traoré interrupted him, locking eyes with the president and questioning whether foreign governments, particularly the United Kingdom, were dictating his political actions. His direct reference to Julius Malema, the outspoken leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, stunned the delegates in attendance. Malema, who has been an unrelenting critic of Western influence and a vocal supporter of Pan-African unity, has recently been the subject of mounting legal and political pressure in South Africa. The confrontation stems from growing speculation that Western powers, especially the UK, are uncomfortable with Malema's radical positions on land reform, economic redistribution, and the nationalization of key industries. His rhetoric, calling for Africa to cut the strings of colonial control once and for all, has reportedly made him a target for foreign governments invested in maintaining economic and political influence over African states. Social media chatter suggests that Malema's legal troubles could be part of a larger campaign to neutralize voices that threaten entrenched power structures. Traoré's question to Ramaphosa appears to reflect a sentiment held by many Pan-Africanists, that certain African leaders are still taking orders from former colonial masters. Ramaphosa's silence speaks volumes. While Ramaphosa has yet to publicly respond to Traoré's accusation, those in the room say his expression tightened, and he quickly shifted the conversation back to African unity in diversity. But to observers, the damage was already done. The idea that South Africa's head of state could be accused, in front of fellow African leaders, of acting on the instructions of a Western power is politically explosive. Some analysts believe Traoré's move was a calculated strike, not just at Ramaphosa, but at any African leader perceived to be working against the tide of true independence. Others see it as a warning shot. The younger generation of African leaders, led by figures like Traoré, are not afraid to openly challenge the continent's established political elite. In the days following the incident, hashtags such as #HandsOffMalema, #AfricaForAfricans, and #NoTo-Neocolonialism began trending across Twitter and Facebook. Supporters hailed Traoré as the embodiment of African pride and resistance, while critics accused him of unnecessarily humiliating a fellow head of state and undermining diplomatic decorum. Meanwhile, the F has remained publicly defiant, with senior members hinting that forces beyond South Africa's borders are indeed attempting to influence the nation's political direction. The UK government, for its part, has not commented on the allegations, but analysts warn that even the perception of such interference could spark a diplomatic storm. This is not the first time Ramaphosa has been accused of bending to external pressure. His critics point to trade agreements, foreign investments, and certain policy positions as evidence that South Africa's political decisions often align with the interests of Western capitals rather than the will of the people. For Traoré, however, the confrontation was not just about Julius Malema, it was about Africa's fight for self-determination. If we cannot make decisions without someone in London, Paris, or Washington approving them, one of Traoré's aides reportedly said after the meeting, then we are not free, we are still colonies with flags. Whether or not the UK actually had a hand in Malema's political troubles, Traoré's question has drawn a clear battle line in African politics. between those pushing for complete independence from foreign influence, and those seen, rightly or wrongly, as gatekeepers of outside interests. Subscribe for more follow-up of South Africa latest report.